What is up, everybody? Keith, aka Gear Guy 231. It is Wednesday, January 13th, here to break down today's two-game EPL slate. Guess what, guys? It is back to being a City slate. Honestly, Man City is going to dominate the ownership and are going to dominate the results based on how they do at home versus Brighton. So strap in, get to your place your bets, and let's see how Man City roulette goes. Just a quick reminder, bottom right of the screen is the subscribe button. If you enjoy these videos and all the videos we have at FSI, and man, we have a ton coming your way. I know PGA is premiering at 7 a.m. this morning with a whole new format. John and TK are pumped about it. I've had a sneak peek. It's going to be really good. We've got Chris has the NHL up debuting tonight. I guess opening night is tonight. We'll have NBA starting 5 later. We've got this EPL video. There's tons coming your way at FSI, NFL all weekend. So make sure to check it out. We have some great info for you guys. And, one of the biggest things that I love about our site is we play what we tell you guys that we're going to. And hopefully I get you guys some good advice going here. All right, let's jump into things. And I think in so many ways, while I led off this and said that the slate's going to come down to getting Man City roulette right, which is going to, I think what also may go right is, or decide the slate is, do you get the bromance? And if you are in our FSI chat, the bromance is Son plus Kane, but do you get the bromance right? So are you going to play Heung-min Son for the sets and potentially a set monopoly, depending on how the lineup shakes out, or do you go for the upside of Harry Kane? I think the correct answer, and the majority of the answer in cash, is going to be Heung-min Son. But if you show up with Harry Kane for a $700 cost savings, you go, look, Son's great, but Son's floor is probably not worth the 10-5 tag. I don't blame you at all. Look, for those that have watched these videos long enough, by now my answer is going to be Heung-min Son. He's taking a corner. My dang background image is of a corner. I have an obsession with corner kicks and players that could take corner kicks. So that's my answer. But again, me just telling you, you are not crazy. All right, let's jump into the overall, the slate as a whole. And we're going to keep coming back to the Son Kane decision. So as we see here on Pinnacle Odds, Man City is the biggest favorite, minus 525 at home, 3 total. And we got Spurs versus Fulham, minus 176, 2.75 total. I kind of just want to give my overall thoughts of the games. So Fulham, I guess I'll start with Spurs because, look, you don't need me to come here and tell you that City should dominate possession versus Brighton, should dominate the chance opportunities, and likely are going to win the game. They've been the best team in the EPL for the last 2 months. Sorry, United fans. I know you guys are at the top of the table, but City's coming roaring. As a Liverpool fan, it kind of sucks to say or sucks to see, but City's in outstanding form. Their defense is fixed, and once they're starting to get a lot of the guys back from injury, this might be City's league this year. But I think Spurs could struggle here. Fulham in the last month and a half, I'm gonna pull up the results as I'm saying, but their defense and their shape continues to get better. Let me just kind of read some results here for you guys just to kind of prove the point that I'm trying to make. So they hosted Southampton 0-0, away to Newcastle 1-1, and I think it was it was only a PK from Callum Wilson is what they conceded. 0-0 at home to Brighton. 2-0 to Man City, which, again, 2 goals versus City with the Fulham team that, to start the season, Fulham to start the season would have allotted 6 goals to City. That's just showing how different the team is. 1 away to Leicester 2-1. And then I missed the Liverpool fixture 1-1, and they looked actually great versus Liverpool. Did a great job taking on the pressure. So again, Tottenham, we know by now, is a lot like Man United yesterday, right? I was on here, so that Man United could struggle to break down Burnley. And what ended up happening, Man United struggled to break down Burnley, needed a really nice goal from Paul Pogba to win the game. So I could see Tottenham really struggling to take down Fulham. Tottenham really loves for you to come at them and overcommit. And as Jose say, we can kill you on the counter. He actually says a little more vulgar, but I don't want YouTube to penalize us. So if Scott Parker just kind of tells his guys, stay in position, let them come to us, it could be a struggle for Spurs. And if it is a little bit of a struggle, that could actually unleash a really good game from Heung-min Son. So I think of the Tottenham guys, Son is the guy I want to have. I think you can easily stack him with Harry Kane. Honestly, the two together as a stack probably comes in under-owned because it's going to be hard to fit with your city pieces. But yeah, so that's Tottenham. I know I went backward, but there's not a ton to talk about Tottenham. Like, it's those two. It's like Hugo Lloris. And then, if you want anybody else, you're kind of overpaying for them, and you really need a goal or assist. They're just not been a great floor team. Let's see where Bergwijn is. I know I'm going way out of order here, guys. It's like 5:45 as I'm recording this, so just deal with it. Bergwijn 4,800, but he's questionable, or he's out. Right? We don't know. Like, DK decided to make everybody red. Jerks. I don't know about you guys, but this color scheme that DK threw out is just like beyond tilting for me. It's like half the time I'm doing this stuff at like 5 a.m. So red is questionable versus red is out, and I have to look for the difference between the little Q. It's just stupid. Maybe he has a chance against Fulham, so I don't know. That's Jose at his finest. But even at 4,800, he's not that cheap. All right, let's go into the picks. I need to get back on track here. So I talked about Son, talked about Kane to an extent. Kane, look, love him to death. Think he's a great player, but he's still going to pay off 9,800. He needs a goal or assist. Heung-min Son probably still needs like a goal or assist too. But if we don't see like Lo Celso, there's a really good chance that Son has like a monopoly set pieces, and depending on the possession stats, he could get to double digits without a goal or assist based on the corners. Kane, not so much. All right, Sterling, 8,500. I think it's fair. He definitely needs goal or assist. Been drawing a little bit more fouls, but he's not going to cross. From what I've seen, the likely formation up front is going to be some version, right, of either Torres or Jesus up the middle. I'm like 99% sure Sterling's going to be in because he didn't play an FA Cup on the weekend. Mahrez did. I'd expect him to go back to the bench. Bernardo Silva, who I'm going to talk about more in a second, was phenomenal. Looks back to being Bernardo. I think his price is almost too cheap. So I think from what I've seen, he might be at the front line, or you might see, Torres on the left if he wants to play for Ferran Torres and Jesus. Look, all of them are great. None of them have great floors. You're playing for a goal or assist. That's Man City roulette. Like, that's why I say put your chips in, put your bets down, because you just need to get the goal or assist. Like, if you play these guys for a floor, you're going to get like 6 or 7 DK. You need the goal. You need the assist. No, I can't tell you who's going to score. No, I can't tell you who gets the assist. What I can tell you is you need to look at your lineup and decide who fits the builds best, and that's kind of how you let your chips fall. Like, that's how you play Man City roulette, and that's how you play it effectively, at least myself, and it's worked over the years. So my gut is that I'm going to probably say screw the top end, like Raheem Sterling has a better chance to score slightly than Ferran Torres and Bernardo Silva, right? I'm fine saying that. But is that slight goal chance worth, he's at 8,800, worth an extra 2,200 over Torres? My answer would be no. Is it worth an extra 2,700 over Bernardo Silva? My answer would be no. So that's where I would kind of fall, is like, why do I want to overpay for the City piece knowing that it's roulette, right? No one's roulette wheel. They got to score or assist. All I have to do is have the ball drop, not on the right, drop on the left, Torres to put it in or Silva to put it in. And you go from there. All right, so that's City. And then obviously Gabby Jesus, 7,500. Being central has the best chance to score of all of them. But just understand with all these guys, like, more likely than not, you are not going to pay off value without a goal or assist. So accept it. understand that you have to play them because City's such a big favorite, and move on. All right. So that's kind of the forward pool. When it comes to City, I think there's a very good chance that you're going to be playing midfielders, at least one of them with forward eligibility. So my gut is you do something like Son. I'm a Torres fan, so I like Torres. And then in the midfield, obviously, all roads will always lead back to Kevin De Bruyne. I'm glad that Pep took him off at halftime. Not only because I put out to FSI on Saturday's FA Cup that I thought KDB was a fade because of that, but yeah, it makes me feel better that KDB would like play closer to 90 here. It's also, I think, really interesting that KDB's price is down. You know, I thought coming in the second he'd be like 12K. So KDB, especially with the chance that Mahrez sits, could be on monopoly set pieces. There's no roads to fading KDB here. So KDB's honestly, like, I went backward like 3 times, right? We'll blame the time of day, but just kind of a lock and load. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit more midfield. Then I'm going to show you how this works, because you're starting to look at this and you go, what the heck? You're locking in Son for 10.5. You're locking in KDB. You're locking in Torres. And how the hell is the salary going to work? I'll get there. It's the guy in the cover, by the way. And if you don't know who the guy in the cover is, you got to stick around for another like 2 minutes. Look at that. Clever planning by me and making you stick around for a little bit longer. All right, let's go to the rest of the midfield. I should have mentioned that Phil Foden could, be in over Bernardo Silva on the left. Phil Foden at 8,000 is okay. If Phil Foden is in, KDB will not have monopoly set pieces. Phil Foden likes to take some outswingers from the left. So, yeah, just Phil Foden scored over the weekend. Great player. We'll just have to see how the lineup shakes up. But here's like the beautiful thing about today's slate. We know all the City craziness early. So at 12 p.m., 1 hour for lock, we will get the Man City lineup. Your lineup's going to be predominantly Man City, so we don't have to worry about like leaving extra room and all the pivots. It would kind of stink if Tottenham was first, because I feel like Tottenham lineup isn't that as important, because the pieces that we need to know, Son and Kane, we know they're going to play. All right, and look, I think Lo Celso is out, so that does help Son. Jeez, I couldn't tell if that was an out or a Q, but I can see it enough now. Bergwijn, maybe you could Gareth Bale at 7,400 though. I don't think he's worth it. GPP, yes. Anybody, like I say here, that's not worth it, definitely still is worth in GPP, especially if they're going to be low. But just, again, I mentioned this yesterday, try to mention every time that we're looking for an optimal cash build, head-to-head. Majority of times this is what's going to happen, not so much GPP. GPP should leverage off a lot of ownerships. All right. Pascal Gross at 7,000 is truly gross. We are not going to do that. Not versus Man City. So, all these plays the same way. I don't know. Lookman, I think, is interesting. I wish he was like 5,300, and I'd probably be playing him. 7,300 versus Spurs. You got to keep this in mind. If Spurs do go up 1-0 in the 15th minute, Fulham could 100% pay off value. So I think on this slate, you always need, on a 2-game slate, you need a third team, right? So you can't just play all of Tottenham or all of City. You need a third team. I think my third team is Fulham. I don't think I'm going to have anybody from Brighton. Maybe on Brighton, like Lewis Dunk. We'll get there. All right. So down the midfield, 6,700. You can't pay that for Solly March versus City. Can't pay 6,400 for Trossard. There's our City guys, Gundogan and Silva. Gundogan's actually becoming that guy. It's similar to Ruben Neves yesterday, where the price is gross, but he's gonna be like the piece that has similar upside to the rest, but that nobody plays. So I don't hate Gundogan. Tom Kearney, just would depend on the lineup for Fulham. He has a road to set pieces, but Cavallero could take, Lookman could take, Kearney could take. Joe Bryan finally made the lineup in the FA Cup, and it was phenomenal. He could take. So Fulham sets are always tough. So I don't think I'm going out of my way to like save room for Tom Kearney, but he's fine. Ndombele, GPP only, because he's goals, assist, or bust for Spurs, but he's playing so much better. There's Cavallero, 5,200. I think is very, very okay. Like I would say this for the Fulham pieces, I would fill in the rest of your lineup and just see where you end on. Like if you end on Cavallero, great. If you end on Kearney, great, because you can play Kearney, and then if he's not in, play Cavallero. But if you don't end up enough salary, let's say that you end on, one of the defenders coming up here, that's fine too. Let's see if there's anything else in midfield. I do want to bring up Rodrigo. He's just been like a classic. He's just going to get there lately. And for 4,200, cheap City exposure, 7.8 versus Chelsea. Newcastle, just so-so game at 5. Southampton, so-so at 5.5. But we had West Brom, 10.1. We had Fulham, 10.1. Tottenham, 12.2. And all these were without a goal or assist. He is big and a target on set pieces, so 4,200 Rodrigo, I think is fine. Let's see if there's anything else down here in the garbage pail. I mean, look, there are players on the garbage pail, just not any that I'm building around to start out. All right, so I'm gonna end the suspense here. How do you make all this work? The Man City center backs are way underpriced. The guy on the cover, if you didn't know who it was, is Ruben Diaz. I do not like to come on here and promote center backs, but when they are a pricing mistake, I think you have to take advantage of it. Man City center backs, because of accurate passes, do actually have a built-in floor, and they have a really good chance at a clean sheet. So honestly, if City stays clean, Ruben Diaz's floor is like 5 or 6 DK. Without it, his floor is still like 2 or 3 DK, and we're talking about 2,800. I don't think that the top-end fullbacks are, phenomenal by any means. I think Cancelo is obviously very, very okay. But I wouldn't pay 5,900 for Serge Aurier. Let's see what Reguilon's price is. 5,500. Those guys are, so completely dependent on game flow and by Tottenham struggling to score, and they'll do okay, that I just, sit here and wonder, why can't I just lock in Ruben Diaz at 2,800, make the rest of my lineup kind of work, because now I have 4 spots and I have about 5K per spot, so I can make this work, right? If all of a sudden I go, okay, I need João Cancelo, well, now I'm at 4,100. I still have a goalie to go. The cheapest goalie today is around 4,000, 3,800. So I'm going to start struggling. So I think that saving that 3,000 on Ruben Diaz, who the two's floor is probably 5 to 6 DK different, I think really makes a ton of sense. Rest of defenders, I already talked about Aurier, Reguilon. Cancelo is the best defender on the slate. Kyle Walker, be careful lately. He's been playing a little bit of center back, so 5,200 for a center back would be awful. Same deal with Zinchenko, has been playing some weird version of a left center back. And also, I'll just say this. Cancelo's been playing in the midfield too, so you just got to really watch City's lineup. Pay attention to their actual Twitter feed too. A lot of times, if you look at responses, you'll see one of their their top fan accounts will actually post exactly how the lineup's going with a photo. So just take a look there. That'll actually help you. Ben Mendy, every fullback here is okay. I think Tete and Robinson, I think for the prices are really nice. And then otherwise, so I think I'm completely fine just punting. John Stones, 3,200. Lewis Dunk could show up with a goal, 2,900. If you want to just do your one other piece being a cheap center back, that's fine. I think those would be the 3 that stick out to me. Goalie. Everybody loves how much I talked about goalie. Guess what? We're going back to the original. Play whoever you want. Ederson or Stefan, whoever's going to start a net for Man City, has the best chance of a clean sheet. The only issue is they also have the best chance for an Ederson, where they don't see much action. If they concede 1 goal, you're probably not going to get double digits. The Ederson, for those that have asked, is when you get the win. You win 3-1. You end with 0 saves, and you paid 6,000 for 3 points. 5 for the win bonus, minus 2 for the goal allowed, and 3 points, and you're dead. But conversely, you stop that shot, and now you got 12 DK, and you scored a goal from your goalie. So I think Areola, if you don't think – I think the 2 goalies I don't think I'm going to play Sanchez, but I think Areola, if he gets me pieces that I want, I have 0 issue paying down, or Lloris or Ederson. I would just say I'd much rather pay 300 more for Ederson than Lloris, just given the odds and given the chances that you don't concede. All right, that's goalie, that's defender, that's midfielder, that's forward. Hope this helps, guys. Thanks so much for the support. If you haven't already, bottom of the screen is a subscribe button. Please hit it. You have no idea how much it helps. Once again, Keith, a.k.a. Gator Guy 231. See ya!